Portia,
so okay. What?
put your timer on, but we're gonna...
Little mini episode, so these two DJs can hash it out.
Topic is.
So the topic that we're going to get into is dinner time. And when it comes to most vendors, we're on site at a venue for 12 plus hours the majority of time. Typically, him and I know we're one of the first vendors that show up, and we're absolutely the last that leave. And so we do not really get breaks. We can't take a break to be able to go off site and get something. Most of the time we're bringing something. I'm hypoglycemic, so I eat a little bit right before the ceremony time, but by the time I get to dinner, I'm pretty hungry. So it all kind of goes back to, when do vendors get to take breaks? And we automatically know that typically photography, videography are jumping in to be able to have a plate of a little break right at the start of dinner to be able to do that. And then it goes into, when do we potentially take a break? And this is where I'll turn it over to you, Zacch, because you and I differ on opinions here.
Something you will find real fast at my weddings is I will go get and bring you a plate. And if you choose to eat it or not is up to you. But how many times did I offer to bring you something? I will bring you whatever you want. I will be your personal server.
Rude.
Be rude.
So he set the groundwork because I do not mix music during dinner. It's for a multitude of reasons. When I do my consults with couples, we talk about what their goal is and what they want to listen to. We develop a genre, an idea of what the vibe is, and then I will curate a personal playlist that is designated for either music that they selected and things that I'll add on to. And usually I create it in a way where it ramps up. It's like your nice, fun, sentimental music at the beginning. And then as we get closer to toast, that playlist naturally accelerates on its own. I don't have to mix. I'm not the star of the show at that point in time. It gives me a chance to eat dinner. Our communication standard with vendors is so paramount that, like, if I'm not eating with the vendors and game planning for the rest of the night and just having simple camaraderie, then I missed out on that opportunity to create better established connections. You're completely missing out. And again, we live at this standard where DJs are expected to eat at tacky banquet tables and eat their food in front of their equipment. And, like, I'm sorry, but I wear fitted suits and nice, like, slip-on loafer shoes. Like, I represent an image where I'm not going to eat in front of our guests. Like, I'm not a bottom feeder. So I hold myself at a very high standard of, like, when it's my time to eat.
100% agree with him that I absolutely hate eating in front of guests because I just do not think it's professional and things like that. For me, I agree with him, but I disagree with him in the fact that I believe dinner sets the atmosphere and the vibe for later on in the evening. I really enjoy live mixing during dinner. Now, I would say I 100% do not do it. Probably 85% of the time I do it. There's 15% of the time that I need to take a break, whatever the case may be. But that 15% of the time, sometimes I've pre-recorded and pre-mixed it prior to the wedding, so it still sounds like I'm live music. Exactly. But I like to be able to do that, to be able to maybe mix out of a song early, play more stuff during that, still curating that vibe. But I'm one that I try to prepare myself so that way I'm maybe taking 5-10 minutes sometime, whatever like that, to later on in dinner period to be able to go sit down and eat my meal. I understand 100% where you're coming from, and I do enjoy the camaraderie and being able to connect with the other vendors. But in my opinion, somebody's event I'm not there to be able to network with them and to be able to curate and develop more of a friendship. That's what the off season is, or other times to be able to connect with them. And that's not to be disrespectful, because I have many great vendor relationships, but somebody's wedding is not my time to be able to develop my friendship with them and whatever. I can maybe do that afterwards or later on, or reconnect with them another time. So that's where I come from. And, I absolutely totally agree and understand where you're coming from. But there is one thing with that, is the expectation sometimes, and this is where I go back and forth, is when I first got into the private event space, I started on the catering side when I was 16 years old. So I've been doing private events and weddings and different things like that for 24 years now. The expectation has completely shifted in that entire time span, that it all is tables are being released by DJs nowadays.
Not at my wedding.
Which I love. Now, there's many of them. How many of you had, and I'm sorry, but you sound like Can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay, you sound like a fucking game show host. I'm sorry, but it annoys the hell out of me. Get off the damn microphone. If you are required to release tables, which go to the table and touch the table. And this comes back from my restaurant background, is we were required as a manager to be able to go out and touch tables. You go out and introduce yourself for a quick second. There are times, though, where I have gotten into a conversation doing that, and me live mixing, it conflicts, and all of a sudden in the back of my head, I'm like, crap, my song's running out. And so that's where it becomes a rock and a hard place many a times for DJs to be able to try to do both. You know, it's like I have no problem getting out and doing that, but
I prefer anytime, even when a DJ says they do it, I say, do you mind if I do it instead? And most of you are like, for the love of Pete, please do it. But efficiency and logistics and traffic flow is absolutely a huge part of what we do. And watching the line and saying, yes, I see this table that's next, and do I think that they're all going to get up there? Are they going to stand a really long time, or how long is it going to take? And I'm doing all this math on the fly, and I will dismiss these tables at the right time so nobody's standing longer than they need to be. Yeah. And like, if it's a real tight traffic flow area, there's not too many people in that area, so somebody can't get to the bathroom, whatever the problem is. And I don't expect, not that you guys can't do it, but I don't expect you to be doing that math in addition to whatever else you're doing that day. Like, it's part of
and while trying to eat. Yeah, so there's a couple things to add to Jared there. Like, so we are there to help facilitate things, you know, in one way or the other. So, but, you know, when it comes to first one is like talking to vendors during dinner. Sometimes it's not about just like, you know, shoulder rubbing.
No, but it's about the rest of the evening and curating that and everything.
Exactly. It's about discussing what maybe happened earlier on in the day. Hey, we missed this marker. Sometimes there's always a videographer or a photographer that's like, hey, we totally missed this one shot, or like we didn't get this family in this one shot. So it gives us a chance to like make sure that maybe we can be an extra point person for them, go and get selected members. Again, it is it's like halftime in a game. And if you don't utilize that halftime appropriately as a DJ, you can get burnt out at the end of the night. You don't get what you need. And I know that there's a lot of DJs that bring their own food and whatnot. But again, for me, like, I value my time, and I know that my couples value the experience of the performance factor for the dinner or for the dancing portion of the evening. So I need my time. I'm not the star of the show during your dinner. And so I've seen really successful videos that he's posted of him live mixing during dinner, and they look really cool. It's great footage. But I remember it was probably one of the first times where I texted him, like, I would never do that. And that was right when we came to a head of like, we're different in this sense. I want to keep somewhat of a low profile other than when I'm on the microphone and I'm making key announcements. I'm not there to try to razzle dazzle you during dinner. Right. I don't want to sell my secrets yet. I want to get to I want to make sure I build you up to where you trust me to go out on the dance floor and have a good time, and then I get to like throw out the sneaky stuff.
I mean, you guys have a gray area. As a videographer, like, I'm not filming people eating. I've done some of the table settings and the wide shots of the dinner setup during the toasts, and I'm going to do it again during the dancing portion. But like, nobody wants 4K footage of them eating chicken. Like, this is my time to eat as well. So we're turning up the cameras, we're charging some batteries. I remember Sorsha, like, we did a wedding or two this summer, and I was like, get in before everybody else. Yeah. And I'm like, get your plate and go be a rat. So like, sometimes we have a table, but sometimes I'm like, just go back and eat. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
No, it felt so weird to me the first time you told me to do that. And you literally said, go now before they start releasing tables. Yeah. And it felt like that was such a, like, overstepping, because I'm just here as a second, right? I'm usually dropping off a cake and leaving. And if I have a camera, it's as a second. I don't do that as often. But it was crazy to be like, let me go to this untouched buffet with my plate and help myself first. I'm into it, but it felt like I was doing something wrong.
Anytime I can do that, if I can get as much of the vendor team through the buffet before the guests even come into that area, then they have as much time as they want to flex and eat their food. And we do it in a way so that there's not like a gaping hole in the middle of your mashed potatoes. Like, we can be whatever and smooth them back out if you care that much that it looks to the first guest, who is the couple, who is not paying attention to that at that point. Like, if your planner says go now, or ask them to bring you a plate. Because if you say no, then I say, no problem, but you're on your own and I don't want to hear about it later.
I will wait for the wedding party and the bride and groom to go in through first, regardless of the situation. And I also want to make it noted too that like when I say that I remove myself from the space, I still come back and do like 15-minute periodic like music checks, make sure volume sounds good, make sure that everyone seems happy with what's going on. As a DJ who removes themselves into another space to eat, I still do 15-minute walk-ins. I check back in, make sure things look good. But I'm also, as the pseudo planner, I'm looking at how many tables are left, who also needs to be announced. When am I about to do the 10 minutes of toast announcement?
Where are we in the timeline?
Where are we at on the timeline? And this does go into the performance factor that you talked about. Is maybe you'll DJ during dinner. What I'll do is when I do my 10 minutes of toast announcement, that's when I take the reins of the decks. So for that 10 minutes, I bump it up just a little bit, give a little live music, make it like fun. Videographers, photographers, everyone gets in their places for cake cutting, toast, whatever it may be. Everything's ready to go. And then I have the ability to like, turn down the music, but I give them a little taste then. But like, I don't think that there'll ever be an occasion unless I have an assistant who I'm trying to train to mix during dinner. Because I just don't, I actually just don't think it's that appropriate. I think that those of people who are trying to have an intimate dinner, and again, it's a case by case situation.
No, absolutely,
So,
it totally is, and I see you. I totally 100% agree with you. We are not the spotlight. It is all upon the couple. If the guests go home and walk away from the day and do not know my name, but are saying that they had the most amazing day possible, I did my job. I could care less. If they want to ask the couple later on for my name or whatever like that, perfect. But for me in my head, just the way I approach things is I feel like I can curate that vibe, at least a nice, intimate vibe or whatever the case may be for the couple for the first 30 minutes. Then from 30 to 45 minutes into it, I can take 15 minutes for myself, and put on a pre-mixed list or something like that to be able to, that I've curated already, to be able to step away and do that and then be back. Because I do agree with you. That last 10 to 15 minutes should be ramped up many of times to be able to get the energy back in.
People are comatose.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to rally the troops. People will wander away. People will smoke. Like I want to be I'd rather get the dinner and me eat first and foremost so that I can be a part of the tail end of dinner to make sure that like we don't have any missing parts. I'm also going through, I'm talking to every individual who's giving toasts and saying, hi, hello, you're going to be doing a toast. Do you know how to hold a microphone? I'm going through like the whole process of like where they're going to stand, what they're going to do. So like it is literally my right to be able to make sure that like I do what's best interest of the couple by making sure that I take care of myself as well. Boundaries. So if you ask me to mix during dinner, if it's a one-off situation, I'm never really going to say no. It just depends on the scenario. But like, I will never voluntarily mix during dinner. I think it's just not the time or place.
Sure. I think the bonus is as a DJ getting into the business, just don't assume that all of this doesn't matter. All of this matters. Like there's so much more into running a DJ business than picking up a mixer and plugging in somebody's playlist.
Totally.
And it all matters is important.
What we do is important. And so if you're looking for a $1,000 DJ, you will get a $1,000 DJ.
You get what you paid for.
If you want a $4,000 DJ, you will get truly what you paid for.
Pick up your mug. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. We so appreciate you guys coming.
Bonus.
Cheers. Bonus features.
Okay.
I've been trying to get ahead, but I keep falling short. Sometimes it's tough getting out of bed when I'm feeling out of sorts. Call it what you will. It's just the art of standing still. I'm just trying to get it right. Call up my besties for a ride. You know the best is yet to come.